Well, you know how most people want to stop coming over the top. I want to stop slicing the ball, curving it left to right, and missing greens and missing fairways off the tee. Well, today I'm going to share with you a great downswing move that's going to eradicate that over-the-top move that causes the slice shot in golf. Let me share with you a small story, a short version of a story of Bernie who came to me. Now, Bernie was a classic over-the-top guy, been slicing the ball for years, and was really frustrated about how he couldn't fix this problem. So he came to me almost as a last resort. He said, "Can you help me stop slicing the ball and hitting all these shots to the right, curving to the right?" So what we did with Bernie is work on a great downswing feel and a routine that really eradicated this downswing move, which I'm going to share with you guys in a minute. So we're going to look at the downswing move, how we can stop coming over the top. And just to be clear, the over the top move is when the club moves over and outside our intended direction of swing on the downswing to cut across the golf ball, producing normally left to right curvature on the ball. It can also produce straight pull shots also. It all depends on that club face relationship through impact, depending on whether you hit a pull shot or the slice shot or even a fade shot. Essentially what we're talking about is the club is cutting across the golf ball. If the face is aiming in the same direction as we swing, that'll be a straight pull shot. If the face is slightly open, that'll be a fade shot. If the face is pointing at target or right to target, then that becomes a slice shot, which is really what we don't want. So even if you went from being a slicer to a puller, that's a pretty positive move. What we're going to try and do with you today is show you a move that's going to change your path, make you shallow that club correctly, and also get that club face a bit stronger as we go along to give us the whole set and match of playing better golf. So what we did with Bernie basically was we worked a lot on how he started his downswing. His backswing was in good order, and that's important. So if your backswing's in good order, this next step becomes really easy. If your backswing's not in good order, then you might have to do some work on that. But if you do master this downswing move, this downswing process, it won't matter if your backswing's not perfect either. So what we did, we got Bernie to get to the top of the golf swing and create what we call a freezer, so pause at the top. Then we got him to make very slow rehearsals down where he felt his arms lowered and his lead wrist went into flexion. Now his lead wrist going into flexion, as you'll see here, makes the shaft shallow. It also makes the club face go stronger. So those two things are going to change the path and also change the club face. We talked earlier about the slicer being out to in and the club face opening. Well, this changing the plane of the swing, shallow in the club, will allow us to swing more from the inside or even into out. And flexing the wrist will also make the club face stronger, which obviously closes the face in relation to what we're swinging. So most of the top players in the world will do this naturally. What I did with Bernie was get him to do a lot of slow-mo rehearsals, and then we'll take that from a slow-mo rehearsal into with a freezer into a full slow motion action, and then into full shots. And the practice routine would stay like that for a number of weeks. And the idea would be then on the golf course, it'd become part of his process. So the process would go on the golf course, we'd stand behind the golf ball, we'd make a practice swing which would look like this. We step behind the ball, we'd visualize the ball flight we want, ideally a little draw. We pick a spot to aim at on our intended target line. We set ourselves up to that. Get ourselves comfortable over the ball. Maybe one more little rehearsal. Reset, look at the target, and then try and feel we're going to go ahead and pull the trigger doing that same feel. So definitely felt I tried to shallow that club there. First shot of the day, a little bit stiff. These old bones not moving so freely first thing in the morning. But it definitely felt like I tried to get that move. And the whole thing about the practice swing and the rehearsal is I'm telling my brain continually what I wanted to do. I'm not going there and just doing my natural movement pattern, which ideally we want to get to. We want your natural movement pattern to do this for sure. But that's going to take a bit of work and a bit of reps. So at the moment, if we get our consciousness to try and do it, and then we tell our brain what we want it to do, we're going to get there far, far quicker without destroying our game in the meantime and without having to hit thousands and thousands of balls. Now, obviously, the more balls we hit, the more natural this becomes. So there's kind of good news and bad news. The good news is your slice will start to disappear. The bad news is your playing partners are going to be calling you all sorts of names because you're going to start beating them every single week. But that's all good. It's a good, bad news situation. So go through this process. If you go through this process and you're diligent with your practice and your practice swings, it will definitely change your pattern of movement on the way down. It'll make you become a better player, a stronger player, and lower scores. So I've been Alistair Davies. Thank you for tuning in today. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please click like and also subscribe by hitting my logo down this bottom corner. Also, if you hit the bell button, that means you get all of the notifications of my latest videos as they